Hello, everyone. Welcome into the DLLS Rangers.
Ryo!
There we go.
There we go.
We needed an extra little kick for the final game of the 2025 season. Abby Jones with Jeff Wilson. Great to be with you guys. Jeff would have loved to be at the field with you, but COVID bug got me, so watched from home. But man, what a few days at Globe Life Field.
Well, I don't want COVID, but I would have much rather watched this one from home. It was, and not because the roof was open. It was a nice day, but man, it was just no energy in the crowd, and just for a while there, it was like a race to the airport. It felt like, and then the Twins put some stuff together against Chris Martin, who was unlucky. The home run wasn't unlucky, but the two hits before that were. And just kind of a dreary. Well, it wasn't dreary because it was sunny out, but just kind of a bad way to end the home season. A really good home season for that matter, but still these last 6 games leave a pretty rotten taste in our mouths, as Rarity said there, sour taste. But to go 1-5 on the last homestand when there was something at stake, even if it was faint after that Astros series, it just feels like, unfortunately, they're just playing out the string and trying to get to Sunday.
Yeah. Did they happen to mention an attendance record there today? Because from my view, I mean, you almost could have had dealer's choice on your seats.
Well, they announced 23 something.
Okay, that's generous.
Tickets right. Sold. I think a lot of people, once the sun got to a certain point, moved around if they were in the sun. But that one was kind of, I thought, a little inflated.
Yeah.
But they finished the year with almost just under 30,000 fans a game. It was like 29,590 something average, and they didn't get to 2.5 million. It was 2,397,065 for the total attendance. So 30,000 in a place that seats 38 to 40, so 75% full most of the time. Hey, that's not bad. Not great, but not bad. And what were they, 48 and 33, I believe, at home to finish things off. So if they had been they're 15 games under 500 on the road right now. So if they had just a little more luck, let's say 7 more games better on the road, they're right in the thick of this thing right now.
Right, and that's kind of the disappointing thing. It was almost at times, in reach. But all right, where do you want to start out today? You want to start with Tyler Mahle, starting pitcher in today's game?
Yeah.
Let's kick off what Tyler Mahle did today. We've got a graphic presenting his stat line, presented by Tanner. Thanks, Tanner, for hanging out with us
Good
today.
job, Tanner.
5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and 1 home run. Now, Tyler Mahle, he has his final start before free agency. Should the Rangers consider bringing him back? Jeff, what were Bochy's comments today, first of all, about his final start, and then Tyler Mahle at the podium as well?
Well, as once he got over his first pitch, which Byron Buxton hit for a home run, everything was pretty good. And he was good the other night in his return from the injured list. The problem is that he missed most of June, all of July, all of August, and most of September. He finishes with 17 starts, ERA just above 2. So when he was on the field, he was fantastic. And you're right, he is headed to free agency. He said he hasn't put a lot of thought into it. I don't know what kind of deal he's going to get. The numbers he can tell, his agent can show teams are fantastic. The problem is he's been injured for 3 straight seasons, really 4 if you want to go back to 22. So there are some health concerns there. I think the Rangers should be interested in bringing him back. I think it would have to be like an incentive laden deal. because it's gone shoulder, elbow, shoulder. Well, how confident are you that he can give you a full season slate of starts? So that's the thing that he's going to encounter in the offseason. He's going to encounter in the offseason. But I'd at least, kick some tires on that one because he seems to like it here. He pitches well, and the Rangers like him. So it seems like there might be a fit there because the Rangers are going to need at least one veteran. They'll have DeGrom, they'll have Eovaldi, have Jack Leiter. But that's all that's spoken for, and I would put Jake Latz in there, but he's going to have to earn that spot. So you'd think that at least one free agent will be somebody that the Rangers target. Merrill Kelly is also going into free agency. He's probably going to get he would get more money than Tyler Mahle would. So it all depends on money and all that jazz. But Mahle, when he pitched this year, was outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a big part of that starting rotation being just so dominant. And you mentioned, the veteran presence. I mean, this upcoming season will be 10 years in the league. And, that's not an easy feat. To get the gold card and, to be honored in that way is definitely rare, especially in pitchers these days. But yeah, I think that the Rangers would be interested to have that veteran arm. And I like what you said too about how much he likes playing in Texas. I mean, I've never seen Tyler Mahle, kind of have an off day here, even with his injuries. He seems to be like one of the guys that you kind of want in the clubhouse as well.
Yeah, he's very even keeled. He is a funny guy. I had a chance to do a feature for the Rangers program on him, and he was saying some funny things, and then like some of the guys who'd been teammates with him in the past were like, this guy is hilarious, and he is funny. He just doesn't show it necessarily, but he stays even keel on the field. I think he's a fit. He and deGrom seem to get along, lockering next to each other. I just think that, and he's married with 2 young kids, just like everybody else on the team, it seems like. So there's a fit there for sure and a need there for sure. It'll just depend on what kind of offers he has to sort through, because he will get multiple offers. A lot of teams are going to be interested. It's just at what level with the injury risk.
With where everything was clicking this season in the starting rotation, with Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, and Tyler Mahle. I mean, those guys, that was a 3-headed beast for teams to face. And, you're going into a series with that start of Jacob deGrom, and then, your last guy is Tyler Mahle. You're feeling good about a sweep. And that's as good as you can want, to go into a 3-game series. So the Rangers had, honestly, quite a scary lineup as far as opposing batters did not want to face these guys.
Yeah, and Bruce Bochy was asked today about, if you had been told before the season that the Rangers were going to have this kind of pitching and defense, would you believe that you guys wouldn't be in the playoffs? And he said, absolutely not. With the way we've pitched, they've given us a chance. They've kept us in games, they've given us a chance. And he just said the offense was too bad. And it wasn't just something that's happened in the last few weeks. As we all know, it's been 2 seasons worth of bad offense, or at least non-Rangers offense. I would say at times it was incredibly bad for most of this season. Early on there, how many run games did they lose, or how little margin for error did relievers have after these great starts? And we'll save our finger pointing for starting next week, because we're going to have a lot of things to talk about next week once the off season hits. But even Bruce Bochy was like, we just got shut down too many times, and he didn't want to name names, and he could have, but he accurately said it was pretty much everybody, and he's not wrong. In these last couple weeks, with all that was on the line, it goes back to the Astros series. It was a huge disappointment. But you look at the lineups that they fielded today, as opposed to the opening day lineup, or even a lineup in June. And I think Tanner might have that. Today's lineup was, it looked like what you'd use in spring training. You got your 3 veterans, everyday players there at the top, getting their at bats so they can get out of town early. And then you have, Rowdy Tellez, who would, and Higashioka, because somebody's got to catch. But then it's Osuna, McKinney, who wasn't in the organization. But McKinney wasn't in the organization to start the year. Hellman was not in the organization to start the year. Tellez wasn't in the organization to start the year. Osuna was a double A to start the year, and then Cody Freeman came in later in the game, and he was a triple A. So you look at that, and then you go to the opening day lineup, and you're like, oh yeah, the Rangers had Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford, supposedly healthy Garcia, Jake Berger, a lot of excitement there. Kevin Pillar, who still is hanging over this club. And then Higashioka and Smith. I mean, just look at the difference of that lineup. It's remarkable. Only 3 of those guys that were in the opening day lineup were in today's lineup. Now Peterson did pinch hit on opening day, so he played on opening day. But the rest of those cats, they weren't anywhere close to the Rangers, to be honest.
Yeah.
So just kind of staggering.
I think that's the shocking part. It's, the anticipation that was with this lineup. I mean, I remember I paid, honestly, a lot of attention to preseason predictions. And the offense was supposed to be one of the most explosive offenses that this club has seen. And so for, in sports, to win a World Series, it's kind of like catching lightning in a bottle. It's rare that you're going to have every single player have a career year that year, and it all kind of works together at one point. Okay, so, maybe Jonah Heim's not hitting what he did in the World Series. But for guys like Corey Seager and Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia, I mean, you need those guys to do what they do every year. And when they're out of the lineup, I mean, there's just no way possible that they're even remotely, going to be able to contribute. So, yeah, I think expectation was the reason that the 2024 season was so disappointing coming off the World Series. And then now, with the quote unquote offensive improvements that they tried to make in the offseason, the expectation again shattered with the lack of offense. So, yeah, it's another frustrating one for Rangers fans. You were down in the clubhouse. Obviously this homestand is kind of when it was official that the Rangers are out of playoff contention. Today, definitely the final home game of the regular season, 25 season. So what were the guys saying, kind of feeling? I mean, their season's over in Cleveland, and you're going to be able to great sound then. But what's the vibe like in the clubhouse right now?
I'll be honest. I didn't talk to anybody. I said goodbye to a couple of guys who weren't going to be traveling, and there's just nothing to talk about. We talked to some guys the last few days about their predicament and obvious disappointment, and they don't really want to talk about next season yet. They just want to be better for next season. There is a need to play your best this weekend. The Guardians are in the middle of a playoff race, and it is the duty of a major league manager and his players to give their all when the outcome of the games they're playing can affect the pennant race. So I expect that Bruce Bochy will manage the games hard. Now, offensively, the Rangers, as we just saw, aren't able to put out a lot. And the Guardians, entering today in their past 21 games, and we'll get to this in a minute, the Guardians had allowed 37 runs in 21 games. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So the Rangers probably aren't going to have a ton of offense, but you will see Bruce Bochy making moves and doing what is required. But anyway, and the players need to know that, and the veterans who are on the trip need to remind the young guys, hey, let's dial in here. This is important stuff.
Yeah, honor the pennant. Okay, I know that we have to jump to break quickly, but any update? You said you didn't talk to anybody, but any update on Josh Smith and Claire? I know his wife is about to give birth. Is there any?
Yeah, he left the game today because it was a situational thing, and they brought in a lefty, and so Bruce Bochy wanted to get a right-handed hitter in there. He is not going to fly with the team tonight. If Claire doesn't go into labor tonight, Josh is going to fly to Cleveland to be with the team. So Kennedy, Landry, and I are flying up to Cleveland at 7:20 a.m. So we're gonna save a spot for Josh if he shows up, but he'll be in first class. We will not be. But as of right now, he's still on for the Cleveland series.
All right. Well, stay tuned as we come back after the break. Jeff and I are going to tell you about some friends at Game Time and Prize Picks. Game Time cannot think of a better way to, what is it, Thursday? To ring in a Thursday than the final game of the 2025 Texas Rangers season at home with the roof open, might I add. If I were not sick and also did not work in media, I might have gone to this game. Number one, because the weather is nice out. Number two, because the roof was open. Number three, because on Game Time, you can get pretty affordable tickets at a decent price, and you can get them last minute. So I could have just decided, hey, there's a 1:00 game today. I'm going to check it out at 12, take a half day at work, and then go to the field. Get the Game Time app because you can unlock amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. You can go ahead and see the ticket before you're going to buy it, so that way you're getting a good seat, good price, and then they also don't have hidden fees. So it is just your one-stop shop for a solid game day experience with Game Time. So use the code DLLS for $20 off of your first purchase and download the Game Time app.
Yeah, and you want to download the Prize Picks apps because this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy. You make decisions, pretty simple ones. More or less on a certain stat. You make what's called lineups, 2 to 6 players. Odds increase with the more guys you get. They have goblins, and which are increase your odds. They have the gremlins, I think they call them, what are friendly, lesser odds, but probably easier to hit. And then they have the max picks. This week it's Jalen Hurts has to throw for half a yard, and you will at least hit that one. It's simple to play, like I said, 2 to 6 players stat projections. It's the best way to get on the action in 40 states, including Texas. Withdrawals are fast and safe. And again, it's just fun. Just a great time, makes sports better. And you can bet on anything. You can bet on the Ryder Cup if you want to do that. So anyway, download the app today. Use the code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
There you go. Are you watching the Ryder Cup at all?
I'm sure I'll attempt to. Yeah. Go USA. I'm very jingoistic when it comes to international competitions. So I hope our boys bring it home.
I concur. All right.
Yeah.
Jacob deGrom. And then we're going to get into the Cleveland series. But let's talk about, a healthy Jacob deGrom. What a sentence to say. 30 starts on the season. I mean, I'm being so serious. When we had the Fan Fest in January and we talked to Jacob, he said, what was his goal? 25? 30?
No, that's what we kind of said. We're like, hey, what are you thinking this year? 22, 25 starts? He goes, why not 30? And we're like, okay, Jacob, whatever.
Okay, when we can go to Mars and sit there and have a cup of tea. So yeah. I thought, absolutely not. Like maybe, I was 15. Like I'm being very, very low on my optimism there. What was your honest thought of how many starts he can make?
I thought 25 max, that, they had talked about skipping some starts and, deploying him later in the season. Like he didn't start until the Rangers' 4th game to start the season. And then he was their number 5 starter coming out of the break. And he didn't start until, his last start was a few days before the All-Star break. So, he was rested at when they could. They didn't manipulate the rotation to get him an extra start here or there around the off days. Nothing like that. They held serve pretty much. They only skipped him one time this season, and it was recently. So he ended up making 30 starts, and really he was in line to start twice this week. But they altered that. But anyway, 30 starts was a big number for him. It's a big number for really any starter. You don't see a lot of starters these days. that can get through a year without some sort of blemish. And it was his first time doing more than 100 innings and more than up to more than 15 or 16 starts since before COVID. All right, before the real COVID, not your COVID, the real COVID. And 2019 is second Cy Young year. So now he's thinking, I'm going to make 32 starts next year. I'm going to throw 200 innings. He is 172 and 2/3 this year. Got his ERA under 3, got it down to 2.97. His WHIP is 0.921. He's the first pitcher in franchise history to who's a qualifying pitcher to post a sub-3 ERA and a sub-1 WHIP. Optimism should be so high with Jacob deGrom entering next season. And of course, an injury here or there might dash those hopes, but this was his rebound year. This was like his first year when guys are given like, all right, he may not be great. And he was fantastic. So if he's going to get better next year, watch out.
Right. And he was an all-star for the Rangers, the only all-star, which,
right.
But no, if there's anything that was a really big takeaway for me with Jacob deGrom, like actually seeing him post games, talking to him, he's such a fierce competitor. I mean, this guy hates to lose more than he likes to win. And, they say that all these veterans, it's the quote unquote right answer to accept, the responsibility of a loss. But he truthfully did every single time he went out there. And if he did anything other than a shutout, he was disappointed with himself. I think, he was really concerned with the velo. And I think maybe in the beginning he was kind of caught up on that. His location was spot on, though. And when Jacob deGrom's mechanics are clicking and he's able to control the strike zone, I mean, there's nobody more intimidating on the mound to me than Jacob deGrom. And he was really dialed in all season long.
Yeah, the velocity, he would slow it down if his mechanics were out of whack. But as the season progressed, he was still pumping 98, 99, even last night. So he feels good about his mechanics. He is concerned about the home runs. He gave up 27 of them. And the thing that concerns him, he's like, some of them were on bad pitches, but some of them were on good pitches. So he's going to try to figure out why they were hitting the good pitches for home runs. Was he tipping something? Did he fall into a predictable pattern? Something like that. But and I know he's older now. What is he, 38, 37, 38? And you are concerned about the injuries, but just based on this season alone, going into next season, there's a chance that Jacob deGrom is better than he was this year. And if that's the case, you're talking Cy Young stuff. And if the Rangers are any good, if they figure out the offense, they're going to be they have a chance to be a contender. The issue, the one big number that also stands about deGrom, is the Rangers only went 16 and 14 in his starts. That's something they got to figure out. Maybe some of that is the offense. He left after trailing 2-0, or it's a 1-1 tie or something like that, and the Rangers couldn't get it done. But when Jacob deGrom starts, if he makes 30 starts, you got to win at least 20 of those. You think, if not a little bit more.
I agree. Well, it's funny because, that game in New York, when we were at Do It for Durrett, he was making his first return to pitch against the Mets as a Ranger. And the Rangers gave him 6 runs of, insurance in the first. And I think that the broadcast said a stat that he never got more than 4 runs of insurance in a start as a Met. So Jacob deGrom is one of those players that is used to not having a lot of offensive help. But you need some offensive help. And when you can get 6 runs in the first, I mean, hey, you're going to go out there and coast for your starts. But, Jacob deGrom always does, his job and a scoreless outing from him, pretty much.
Yeah. And to your point about the offense, he won a Cy Young in 2018. He won 10 games. In 2019, he won 11. and I remember that being an issue. It's like, this guy only won 10 games, but everything else was completely, absolutely 100% dominant stuff. It's not his fault that he didn't get any run support. If he got the run support that, he might have gotten, let's say in 23, if he hadn't been injured, if he got any adequate run support at all, he would be well over 100 career wins. As it is, he's at 96. His Hall of Fame case would be a lot more solid if the Mets had scored him runs in those days. He has the potential with this year and the next 2 years, if they're good, just to be a really interesting Hall of Fame case. He hasn't had the durability, obviously, but when you look at the things he's accomplished at his number of innings in his career, he's like first in a lot of categories, or top 5 all time. Like I think 130 innings. He's like third all time. Maybe it might be second all time. The strikeouts, he was the fastest ever to 1,800 strikeouts in MLB history. It's just, that's how good this guy is. And so when it comes time for him to be on the ballot, it's going to be really interesting to see how voters treat his case, because you're going to look at the career totals, you're going to be like, just kind of, all right, it's a nice ERA, but the old school guys are like, he didn't win. They're going to be like, he didn't win very many games and blah blah blah. But if you dig deep, it's Hall of Fame stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But the guy had a great year. Bottom line, fantastic year for the Rangers.
And he's a young 37. To be exact, he is 37 years old and 98 days young.
All right.
So it's a young 37. It's not an old 37.
Well, there's not a lot of mileage on his arm, because he's been injured, so many times. But you can add that in too.
And Jacob likes Texas, from what I gather.
I think he definitely likes not being in New York. The New York media market. I mean, he's approachable. He does have a routine that he sticks to, but we can go up and talk to Jacob and say hello to him, or ask him how his kids are doing, or ask him what did he throw so and so in a so and so count, and he'll give you an answer. And sometimes it'll be a little more in depth, and you'll end up having a long conversation with him. And so I do think he likes it. I do think he's a fit here. I'm about to sneeze. Hang on. There we go. So if you can pitch like that, the Rangers are going to love him for as long as he's healthy and upright. So it seems like a pretty good fit for sure going forward.
Yeah. And that's funny you mentioned that, because I went up to him and asked just his thoughts on ABS, and I thought it was going to be like a 4-minute exchange, turned into a 45-minute conversation, and then you're just going back and forth and talking about good baseball. So you don't expect a guy of that caliber to kind of take the time. But Evo's like that. I mean, honestly, all of the Rangers clubhouse is like that. And I think that's why, this team is different in that sense. I mean, they give you the time of day. And for that, we're grateful. Makes our job definitely easier. But, Jacob deGrom, I mean, like Jeff said, 172 2/3 innings. Last time that he even threw over was 2019. It was in the 200s, but I mean, for him to have double digits and triple digits, and for it to be high in that case, really, really excited for Jacob deGrom. So what do you think did he mention about, I mean, I guess you might get a more clear answer at the end of Cleveland, but did he mention any offseason goal other than really the home runs? Because that was the weird thing. I mean, it's almost like he had to give up, some sort of home run in the first or second. And it never fazed him, but it just happened.
Yeah. He did talk about after his best seasons, he started playing catch early in the offseason, like a couple of weeks after the season, just to keep his arm moving. And I think he is going to talk to the Rangers about doing that. There's that. that's his focus
Where
right
is
now.
he
He's
all
already
season?
he goes home to Florida and hangs out there, and he went to Stetson University, and I believe he still lives pretty close to Stetson, so he'll do some workouts there. But yeah, he he knows what he's doing. But I think he wants to get back to that and see if it's if it can help him get ready, because he mentioned 200 innings. That's what he wants to do next year. Not very many guys do 200 these days, but he's old school. He came up at the time, kind of at the end of that era where it was 200 innings was the goal. So that's his goal for next year, the 200 innings. And of course, the overriding goal then is staying healthy to do that.
Correct. Him and Tarek Skubal want 200, and I'm a fan of it. All right, we've got to go to the break, but stick around because we are going to break down the final series in Cleveland. I can start us out. I can talk
Hey, we've got some
about the merch.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have some new exciting merch.
Abby, you're breaking up.
Oh, I was going to talk about some owned.
Well, what Abby's trying to tell you guys is that we do have some new merch coming, and it's going to come tomorrow. It won't be on our show because we don't have a show tomorrow. But if you've watched this one, know that I have been waiting more than 12 months for what's going to hit our merch store tomorrow at store.allcitynetwork.com. It's a short word. I have one on my head right now, and it's going to be fantastic. I've already purchased mine, but with that, there will be a deal that we'll talk about in the next ad break. So you want to hang out for that. But we're going to have all kinds of stuff, and you've seen it before, and you'll see it again. And hopefully you own some of it because it is dynamite stuff. I'm not wearing it today because I'm at the ballpark, and I always try to look my utmost professional here. But I'll be wearing that. I'll be wearing that HAT every chance I get, and I can't wait to get it. And again, that's store.allcitynetwork.com. And while we're pushing our things that we can offer you, become a member of the Supporters Club. I think some of you already are, and we appreciate the heck out of it. John Radigan and I and Abigail Jones here, we will be trying to load up our YouTube channel with stuff that's for people only in the Supporters Club. There's 2 levels you can do it at. You can get some sweet emojis, but it's the content, the premium video content that you don't see anywhere. You don't see it on our website, and you don't see it during our podcasts. And it's good stuff. And I have thoughts. I have some thoughts, and I know John has some thoughts too about what we might see happen this offseason. So interesting things, and you got to be a member to see them. So go to the YouTube page, and I'm sure you guys have already subscribed to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and become a member of the Supporters Club.
There you go. Thanks for taking both of those.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome.
All right.
You're breaking up a little bit, so I just took it over.
I appreciate it. All right. So let's get into this Cleveland series. First of all, we've got some probables. Tanner whipped us up a graphic. So Jack Leiter, Merrill Kelly, Patrick Corbin. What do you think of this pitching matchup?
Well, I'll caution with this. The only one the Rangers have released is Friday, is tomorrow. The Rangers have not set their weekend rotation, nor have the Guardians, who I keep wanting to call the Indians. But if the Rangers stay in turn, Kelly and Corbin will be their starters. I mean, right now the Guardians are so smoking hot. It seems like anybody could pitch for them, and they would end up having some success. If Allen and Cantillo, I believe, are both left-handers, which is not good news for the Rangers. They've struggled against them, though they had a little more success there during their hot stretch to end August and in early September. But look, the Rangers are going to be in for it. Okay. They are absolutely positively going to be have their hands full with whoever pitches. And again, these Guardians are going to be playing for something. Now the way things are going with I'll say your Tigers, Abby. It ain't looking good for them, and it's looking really good for the Guardians. I mean, maybe I think the Rangers are probably going to see some clinching and some celebrating at Progressive Field this weekend, and nobody wants to be on the other side of that. So check for that. But like I said early on, the last 21 games entering today, 37 runs allowed by Cleveland. That's staggering. I mean, that's less than 2 a game. No wonder they've done such a great job. And they started this month, September 1st. They were in 3rd place in the division, and they were 10.5 games out behind the Tigers. And now they have not only caught the Tigers, but passed them and relegated the Tigers to wild card duty. And if the Tigers, the Astros were winning earlier today, if the Tigers are to lose, it'll be a tie. Now the Tigers do have the tiebreaker, so the Astros need to be 1 game ahead of the Tigers to make the postseason. And I know there are a lot of Rangers fans, including at least one that I saw in the chat already today, who think, hey, Rangers, go ahead and lose these games and keep the Astros out of the playoffs. But it's not entirely up to the Rangers. They need the Tigers need to take care of some business too to keep the Astros out. So we'll see what happens. But there's going to be a lot on the line this weekend in Cleveland. And honestly, even 10 days ago, we didn't think that would be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if anybody can be more upset than Rangers fans, maybe it's Tigers fans, And
for sure.
I want to point out that the Tigers' downfall started after the All-Star break, and that's because the Rangers swept them. I mean, that was a really. I mean, you look back on the season, that's a really pivotal moment.
Yeah, and was it a sweep, or did they end up prevailing in the finale? I don't remember, but they might have. I don't remember. But anyway, the Rangers won that series. The Rangers went 4-2 against the Tigers this season. Yeah. I think that's right. The 2 losses
they won
in the school games. But I don't know. He pitched Tuesday, right? So he would be able to pitch Sunday if necessary for the Tigers. If they need to win, they have a pretty good guy there waiting in reserve. But man, what a deal that's unfolded there in the Central. The Yankees are a game behind the Blue Jays in the East to win the division. In the National League, the Diamondbacks got beat today, so that really puts a dent into their chances. That means the Dodgers is BC in the house. That means the Dodgers have clinched, I think. The Reds won today, so the Reds are now a game ahead of the D-backs, which means the Mets have to win today against at the Cubs. Or else the Reds of all teams will suddenly be in position for a wild card spot. So it's crazy what's going on right now. Baseball couldn't have asked for a better deal than this. But what a bunch of races that people didn't think were going to happen are happening, and so good for baseball.
Right.
Good for fans. It's fun stuff, and it's important to see.
With the Cleveland series coming up, I mean, all right, we already know what's going to happen for the Rangers, but what kind of opportunity is there left for guys that just got caught up, like Ozuna and Freeman and Hellman? These guys, they are playing for something right now. They're trying to prove, to this club what they can do and contribute.
Yeah, they have to play. They have to play hard. That's it. Play hard. Do your job. Don't fall into the trap of we've only got 3 more games to go. It doesn't matter. These guys could win jobs next year. All right. I don't think much is settled. To some points that were made in the chat earlier, the Texas Rangers need to change a lot of things. So if I'm Cody Freeman, I don't think, hey, I'm going to supplant Marcus Semien, but maybe I'm thinking I can win this a bench spot over Ezekiel Duran, who doesn't have a home run this year, you know. And if I'm Michael Hellman, I'm like, hey, I could be an extra outfielder here, a pretty valuable one. If I'm Osuna, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. But maybe I'm also thinking, hey, maybe I could be this team's starting right fielder if they get rid of Adolis Garcia. I don't think that would be the case. I think that the Rangers would go ahead and, you know, if they decide to not bring Garcia back, they would try to sign a free agent right fielder because, you know, you want a guy ideally with a good arm and who's going to hit some home runs. So we'll see about that. But there's opportunities for these guys. You're right. If I'm Cole Winn, I'm still out there doing my best pitching. If I'm Jacob Latt, I get an opportunity to start, and maybe he ends up starting one of the Saturday or Sunday games. You know, I need to go out there and be at my best because I really think he should be in the rotation. I absolutely think he should be in the rotation next year, the way things stand. And yeah, Joe Garcia does have 1 year of club control left, but I think they'll at least try to trade him. I don't think they'll. I don't know if they would flatten on tender him, but they might. They might. I think they would try first to trade him. I mean, you could always offer a guy, you could tender him and still trade him before the arbitration deadline. So anyway, not to get distracted, but there are positions available.
Yeah, and there's opportunities.
Next season, there are roster spots that these guys can get a jump start on, a head start on with some good play here in this last week, these last 3 games.
Also, a side note, I know that we talked about Josh Smith, but Corey Seager and Maddie, I think they were around the same time due date as the Smiths. So any update there? I mean, Corey's the most forthcoming with personal matters. Yeah,
he's not going to travel. His season's done. He's not going to travel. And so he's awaiting her the delivery of their boy. It turns out a boy. Yeah. And so we'll see about that. But yeah, I think they're both due. I think and
Semien.
I think Claire is due Monday technically. I think Corey was this weekend. So we'll see. Semien is due a little later. John Gray's wife is having a baby in November. Haven't seen John around. There's just kids popping out everywhere.
Yeah, they really are. All right, so expectations for Cleveland, finish strong, do what you can. You think there's a potential clinch here?
The Guardians for sure. The Rangers will have to watch. The Rangers will have to watch some level of celebrating, I believe, and that's okay. I think the Rangers, if they win 1 game, they finish at 500. All right. If they win 2, they finish over 500, and I think being over 500 is a big deal. I think it's significant. Bruce Bochy mentioned it being significant. And I guess one other thing we got to watch, and I know it's been in the chat, and we can talk about it in a minute, is will we be watching the final 3 games of Bruce Bochy's time with the Rangers? I mean, that's a distinct possibility. His contract is up. We asked him today about it. We tried to dance around it and be nice. And, do you have anything to announce? And he said, and he talked about Josh Smith. And we're like, anything else? He goes like, what? I said, your employment status for next year. And he said, oh, no, there's still games to be played. I'm not going to talk about it. And then he talked about how much he's enjoyed it, how much he still loves to do this. And, a couple of the assistants haven't been told what they're doing. But, one of them told me that, Bochy is talking about next season. And when we asked him about the ABS the other day, he was like, yeah, we got it. We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to plan out. And like, well, who shouldn't be, anybody who shouldn't challenge. He's like, well, maybe Corey Seager, so he's thinking about things, like it's going to happen. But until the ink is dry, we'll have to wait. And contrary to what I think Joe said in the chat, I think they got to knock this out right away. I don't think they'll wait to announce it till after the World Series. I mean, you don't want to distract, the playoffs. The commissioner hates that, but extending a manager who's already yours isn't a big deal.
I don't think that would be the distraction.
Yeah. Plus the assistant coaches need to know. They absolutely need to know, so that if they're not going to be back, or if Bruce Bochy's not going to be back and they don't want to be back, they can go get other jobs.
Yeah, I agree. All right, final break time here, and then we're going to wrap it up. Batting cleanup.
Okay,
right,
so
go ahead.
I'll start. We always ask you to become a diehard, and you can do that right now for $79.99 a year. I'm going to tell you right now, though, if you're thinking about doing that QR code, wait until tomorrow. Bless you, Abby. Wait until tomorrow. Don't do it until tomorrow, okay? But still become a diehard, but don't do it until at least tomorrow, because tomorrow there may be a price break. So anyway, when you are a diehard, though, you get to do some kick-ass stuff, like read all of our stories that are behind the paywall. You get 20% off of the merch, which you're going to buy. Especially, I could see some of you guys buying the DLS hat that's about to drop, and then you get 20% off our events that we're going to have. And there you go. Let's do that. Go ahead and become a diehard, but not right now. Just go ahead and wait till tomorrow. You can thank me later. But again, it's all of our stuff, and it makes you the smartest sports fan, group of sports fans in DFW.
With all the money that Jeff is saving you, you could send him one of those snazzy new things that are coming tomorrow as well that he really loves.
Oh man, I'd love that. But no, I would also love it, and Abby, you can speak to this too. If the money you save, there's still time, because it's Big Brother Big Sisters month for us. There's still time to make a super chat. The super chats will go to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and it's a fun organization. And Abby, I know how much you enjoy the kids and everything, and it seems like this is a place that's right up your alley.
Yeah, no, it's really, the impact that you're doing goes beyond, what we talk about. It's fun to talk about sports, but at the end of the day, it is just sports. So it's nice to have an impact on something larger than that, larger than yourself and all the things. So if you feel inclined, which we hope you do, consider the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. All right, we are going to wrap up. Batting cleanup. A lot happening in the final days of the regular season. Man, the Mariners win the AL West. To start, did you think that the Mariners would take the AL West crown? I did not.
No, I thought the Rangers would win it. I really did, and I'm on record, and I don't mind. I'm wrong. So were a lot of people. The Mariners did a great job at the trade deadline. They reinforced their lineup. Everybody talks about Gino Suarez, and it's been nice, but Josh Naylor's been fantastic for them. Just a wonderful addition. They made a couple additions in the bullpen to solidify that group. Pitching, I know that the Rangers have the best ERA in the game, but Seattle's got a hell of a pitching staff. And then, of course, they have Cal Raleigh, who hit number 59 and number 60 last night. He's got 3 games. They're against the Dodgers, but he's got 3 games to break Aaron Judge's American League record of 62. The Dodgers.
Catcher, like what?
Yeah, I know. If the Dodgers have clinched, they've at least clinched a playoff spot. I don't know if they've clinched the division. BC, what do you got? But anyway, my point is here that the Dodgers and the Mariners both might be resting players.
Yeah.
So maybe Raleigh's playing time is trimmed down. But if he does play, every time he comes to the plate, you got a chance to get closer to history, maybe closer to the MVP. He has 60 home runs. Judge, while Raleigh hit 2 home runs, so did Judge last night. numbers 50 and 51. If you want to look at the stats across the board, Raleigh's probably slugging more and has more home runs, but that's about it. And Judge is going to win the batting title. His OPS is higher. Obviously, he has more. I don't know if he has too many more steals than Cal Raleigh, but they both play excellent defensively at premium positions. I wonder if the Judge injury, I wonder if that's hurt his defensive value. But if I had a vote, boy, I don't know what I would do. That's a tough one. I have Rookie of the Year. I could fill that out. I could have filled it out 2 weeks ago, I think. I may fill it out once we're done here. It's pretty cut and dried, I feel like.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Mariners, they hadn't won the division since 2001, when they were the best team and regular season team in history. They didn't go to the World Series that year, losing to the Yankees in the ALCS. So maybe this is their year. It just seems like it's wide open and that anybody could do it. So we'll see. I don't dislike them at all. I hope that they do well and represent the West well, but the West has been pretty watered down, so I wonder how good they are. We'll have to wait and see.
No, they've been fun to watch. Did you listen to his post-game when they clinched?
No, but I saw he had a cigar while he was doing it.
Well, I guess he said some foul language the night before and then decided to say it again on national TV. But he was like, we might as well just go win the whole effing thing. But, he's a catcher hitting 60 home runs. So, and on his way to MVP, I'm going to let that man do what he wants to do. Okay. It was a big fun scene with the Mariners right now. But that'll be interesting. With your standpoint, if you were Cal Raleigh, would you want to play these 3 games to try to beat this record, or would you care more about saving yourself for postseason?
I'd want to play the games. I mean, he DHs a lot, so you could let him DH if you're the Mariners. If you want him to get a real stab at this thing, let him DH for 3 games. But I want if I'm a hitter, I don't want time off. I want to get my bats, stay in rhythm, and whenever the first playoff game hits, I want to be ready to go. The Mariners are looking at the bye now with the way things have turned out in the Central. So they're looking at one of the 2 byes. So they're going to be off for a while. So I would, if I'm a hitter especially, I want as many at bats as I can get this weekend.
Yeah, stay in rhythm for sure. Speaking of the Mariners, I know that you remember the Karen in Philly like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
quite the opposite. And with the good people of Seattle, sweet older man caught one of Cal's home run balls, decided to just hand it to a little kid in the crowd. Mariners are actually trying to get in touch with him and kind of make the situation right. But that's what happens when you are a good Samaritan and, you see a kid at a game. I mean, that's what it's there for, So props to that guy. That's what I want to see more of, not the crazy lady stealing the kid's home run ball,
Yeah, and I don't think she ever got doxxed, which I was kind of, I'm against doxing, but she deserved it. She deserved, the world needed to know her name.
Yeah,
I mean, the public shaming's fine, but if they didn't know your name, she didn't need to lose a job or anything, but she needed to be ridiculed and scorned more than she already was. But the Phillies handled that well. I hope if it happens with the Mariners and they're able to find the boy, hopefully something cool will be able to happen with this weekend with him and Cal Raleigh. That'd be a lot of fun, and I bet Cal Raleigh would eat it up. I bet he's the kind of guy that would show that kid a great time around the clubhouse for a little while at least.
Yeah, for sure. When I exchanged the home run ball that I caught of his at the home run derby.
Oh, that's right.
He was like, "Are you sure you don't want this?" And I'm like, "What am I going to do with it?" Here, which, I guess hindsight, I could have sold it on eBay for maybe a lot of money and kept memorabilia, but hey, I got a scuffed up computer instead,
Maybe you could say that. Sell your
Yeah.
computer. Say, hey, Cal Raleigh did
I
this.
should have gotten an autograph. That would have been the time and the place for it. I really should have gotten an autograph. And then Paul Skeens, did you see, ended his season 1.97 ERA.
Yeah, that's pretty outstanding.
Man, I mean, when's the last time, just quick off the top of your head, that you've seen, Rookie of the Year follow up who was also up for the Cy Young, follow it up with that kind of campaign?
I think Dwight Gooden pulled that off. Actually, I think 84 he was Rookie Year, and 85 he was a Cy Young winner. I'd have to double check that, but Dwight Gooden just was so good, and didn't throw as hard, but had a big, huge 12-6 curveball that nobody could hit. And he was so young at the time doing it in New York, and he was great for a number of years, and then encountered some off the field things, but then came back and threw a no-hitter for the Yankees, for the other New York team. So Dwight Gooden comes to mind, and there was like Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor who had good seasons, and either one ever won I don't think ever won a Cy Young. I'd have to double check that, but they were big hotshot rookies, and Kerry Wood was from Grand Prairie. Actually, I think he's from Irving. But anyway, Mark Pryor had gone to college, so he was a little more seasoned, but pretty cool stuff. What Skeens is doing, and of course, he's still dating Livy Dunn. So
that's your favorite point. And he's apparently all right, so Randy Johnson, likes to, and Ken Griffey likes to kind of play photographer in their, post-career life. Paul Skeens might become part of the grounds crew because, he sat out in that one before one of his starts and kind of watched how it happened and, asked them the lay of the land. But then somebody got a clip of him and he grabbed a rake and he was kind of fixing his mound out in the bullpen. To kind of do his own, throw his own little BP. So he has an interest in that. So I could see that being, his post-career. I mean, on top of the millions and millions and millions of dollars he's going to make, everyone needs a hobby, Yeah,
his free agency is going to be interesting because I don't know that the Pirates can even come remotely close to doing that. And maybe he's such a good guy that he will sign a team-friendly deal, but gosh, when he's a free agent, watch out. That's going to be if he even gets that far with the Pirates, they might have to trade him to try to get something. Just the way they operate.
What's an interesting thing in the world that we live in, on a very serious matter? Braxton Burrows, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's a football player and he's dating Alex Earl. She's like a TikTok.
Yeah. I know that is. Yeah.
So Braxton's not that great of a football player. But the value that his girlfriend brings on social media to their team's fan base, he's added another $1 million in his contract just because he's dating her and basically she's going to post all these photos at the games and stuff. And so he's like, hey, I'm not really great on the field, but my girlfriend's so attractive that she'll bring her whole fan base. So I think that's essentially he could work in some little Livy Dunn, which he's not, his talent speaks for himself. He doesn't have to necessarily work that in, but that is funny in the world we're living in.
Yeah. Well, how many 87 jerseys are Swifties wearing these days, so, that's part of it. Christmas. No, she's all right.
Okay.
She's all right. She doesn't need one.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Like Jeff said, he is going to be heading to Cleveland for the final 3 days of the season. So, Jeff, have fun. Get some good stuff for us. And, we'll be talking to you soon.
It'll be you and me Sunday.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.